This new movement was beginning to lose steam, and the Great Depression did not help that cause. Over the course of time, people started to criticize the movement due to its promotion of decadence and sexuality. And the leading voice of opposition to all of this decadence and homosexuality was none other than the strong, black voice of Adam Clayton Powell Sr. Adam Clayton Powell Sr. was the minister of the historic Abyssinian Baptist Church. The Abyssinian Baptist Church can trace its history to the early 1800s. Thomas Paine, the Freemason, prominent Boston Negro who founded the first African Baptist Church, is also said to be a founder of the Abyssinian Baptist Church. According to the legend, seamen from Abyssinia, aka modern Ethiopia, attended some other predominantly white church and were made to sit in the balcony, aka nigger heaven. So, in protest, they supposedly walked out and started their own congregation. You'll notice this is a recurring theme in the history of several other black firsts in American history, similar to the story of Richard Allen and Absalom Jones being at segregated St. George's Methodist Church, a white Philadelphia church. They were not treated with the same equality as whites. This prompted them to start the African Methodist Episcopal Church. This is also similar to the story of Prince Hall being excluded from Freemasonry and deciding to start a Masonic society for so-called blacks. The Abyssinian Baptist Church was located in a few places in the city, most recently Greenwich Village in a place dubbed Little Africa, before moving and finding its new home in Harlem, right on time for the new Negro movement. Adam Clayton Powell Sr. was the minister of the church during the hottest times of Harlem and had grown the congregation to over 10,000 people, making it one of the largest Baptist congregations in the world. This made Powell perhaps the most influential black man in all of America. But was he really even black though? Despite his light complexion and blue eyes, several supposedly trusted publications regard Powell as an African American, but his ancestry and genealogical records show no African or so-called black ancestry. Born in Virginia, the black ancestry he supposedly has is really Indian from his mother's side. She was listed on the 1860 census as a free person of color. A man with traceable white and Indian blood identifies himself as African. This would also be a common theme throughout the course of history. According to Powell, he never knew his father. Another common theme. All of these antebellum, early 20th century
Yeah, I
Americans
saw a note.
never know their father.
The fuck? Man, where the fuck the remote go? Shit, bullshit. Motherfuckers testing they switch again.
This
I
scene
hope they testing and
is
shooting it in the air,
devastating
not
for
in the nigga
everyone
ass.
who knows a white man, especially white men.
I'm sick of hearing about
Some people
motherfuckers getting
wouldn't
shot
even
with switches.
betray their own children. and then sell their young children for $2.
Y'all gotta excuse me, man.
50 cents. According to Powell,
I've been roughing it out.
one of the local rumors in Hillsborough, Virginia,
Me like motherfucker on the mountain retreat.
Powell, a white planter
What's the word out there?
who lived near the area his mother was well.
Yo, what's good, people?
Identified as black, but he had long been past as the white in the South before the North. It was in the North his popularity rose to celebrate the fourth.
Trying to make a video while I stalk asleep.
That he would asserted black identity. But there's more that he was celebrated in Harlem. It was his son who stole the show.
Smell like a bear.
Powell Sr. preached at the Abyssinian Baptist Church for over 30 years before retiring. When he retired, he handed over the reins to his son, Adam. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. would become a Harlem hero.
That motherfucker look black.
Key figures within the early Black Power movement. The new face of the Democratic Party and the perpetual invitee. Speculation about the Clayton Powell bloodline has always been at the forefront of the conversation throughout the life of Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Blessed with the holy gift of gab, he had an almost Jim Jones influence over the local Harlem community. The white-looking man who preached and talked like a black man with the nerve to spit that hot, greasy fire at the white power establishment. He possessed the ultimate light-skinned license to talk reckless, to the point that many of the most militant black leaders at the time saw him as the strongest voice in the black community. People in New York send Powell to Washington, D.C. speak like a black man. And the day that Powell ceases to speak like a black man, he claims that black people in New York will cease to send black Harlem to black people in New York will cease to send Powell to Washington. So I give you that answer. I'm not saying that Powell is right or Powell is wrong. That's not the question. But Powell does represent black people to the degree that black people support him. But most of these other Negro leaders that you see around here are nothing but Uncle Toms outright who have no independent voice of their own, and you never hear them open up their mouth until the white man gives them the right to open up their mouth. And then when they open up their mouth, they always take great care not to imitate to be the white liberal. Quote, the racial identity of Adam Clayton Powell Jr., a case study in racial ambivalence and redefinition. Adam Clayton Powell Jr., one of America's most militant 20th century black leaders, was also one of its most paradoxical. This son of Harlem, who called himself a marching black and the first bad leader in Congress, was for all appearances a white man.
How many motherfuckers will actually look up to resolution?
In a nation consumed by racial distinction, Powell became racial ambiguity and crafted life as a different way of the young man and later to create a false racial ancestry that would legitimize his black identity. And later create a false racial ancestry that would legitimize his black identity. Ultimately, it made him more militant as a black leader and enabled him to redefine what it meant to be black. Powell developed his reputation for aggressive, outspoken leadership as a young man in the midst of the Great Depression of the 1930s. He led protests that secured thousands of jobs for African Americans in New York City. In 1941, he became the first African American elected to New York City Council. 4 years later, he was the first African American to enter the U.S. Congress from New York City. The first from New York City. Not the first, but the first from New York City. Until the civil rights movement in the 1950s and the appearance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the national stage, Powell kept the African American full rights.
his velvet elsewhere, he retained his influence among African Americans. It is significant that during his legal battles, civil rights leaders Martin Luther King, A. Philip Randolph, Roy Wilkins, and Whitney Young came to his defense. In the African American civil rights struggle, Powell was supremely self-confident, at times even arrogant. He acquired a national reputation as a fearless fighter who would not tolerate racial bigotry directed at him personally or at his people. He never hesitated to speak his mind. Whether it was in denouncing New York's mayor, Fiorello LaGuardia, as a fascist, or in attacking Mississippi's Congressman Theodore Bilbo as a racist. Nevertheless, when Powell's own racial identity was at issue, he could be insecure and uncertain. Throughout his life, he was defensive about his fair skin and self-conscious about his race. As Chuck Stone, his press representative, said, Powell was always sensitive about a white skin that housed a black militancy. There were good reasons for his sensitivity. Despite Powell's widespread acceptance in the black community, there were blacks and whites who viewed him suspiciously. Once at a city hall hearing, a black man accused Powell of fraudulently calling himself a Negro. Powell's childhood friend said that his fair complexion resulted in Negroes who complained that he is a stranger in our midst. Writer Frank Hercules, who admired Powell, confessed that he considered Powell to be essentially a white man calling himself black. He was black merely by courtesy, Hercules asserted. But it was a white journalist, Richard Levine, who, in analyzing Powell's ancestry, concluded that his blackness was more a matter of choice than identity. He wasn't really a black man. He was a black man by choice. He was trans black. Such attitudes made skin color a central dilemma of Powell's life, but one that ultimately strengthened him and enabled him to better understand the meaning of race in America. The origin of Powell's insecurity can be traced to a childhood that did not emphasize race. He was born in 1908, the same year his father left New Haven's Emmanuel Baptist Church to pastor the Abyssinian Baptist Church, founded a century earlier. Adam Clayton Powell Sr. was a born into a desperately poor family in Virginia in 1865. He worked his way through Wayland Seminary,
My favorite chocolate thunder.
and became a charismatic
Tuned
leader,
in.
dynamic orator, and adroit administrator. Powell was responsible for moving Abyssinia into an imposing new office on 138th Street in Harlem in 1923 and developing it into the largest black congregation
Hit
in the
that like
United
button
States
for me.
with over 10,000 members.
Hit the like button. I don't know who you are.
Child, adored by his father and the three women in his home. His mother Maddie, his nurse Josephine, and his sister Blanche, 10 years his senior. Old timers remember young Adam as a pretty curly-haired child, coddled and pampered by his parents and every sister and saint in the church, said writer. Rich and Gullish child, adored by his father and the three women in his home. His mother Maddie, his nurse Josephine, and his sister Blanche, 10 years his senior. Old timers remember young Adam as a pretty curly-haired child, coddled and pampered by his parents and every sister and saint in the church, said writer. Residing in a palatial townhouse that his father had purchased with wife in Harlem, Adam was prohibited from engaging in street life. Although he attended public
Anything particular you trying to see?
sure that his friends came from well-to-do circumstances. Years later, when Adam started working in Harlem, he had to confront the uncomfortable fact that he knew very little about how the other half lived. Up until then, he had resided in, but had not truly understood.
I know you be up around this time of night. You know, once you wake up, it's hard for you to go back to sleep.
His mother dressed him in little Lord Fauntleroy suits. He had blonde hair and hazel eyes. His father, Adam Clayton Powell Sr., was the pastor of New York City's Abyssinian Baptist Church. By 1923, He had built it into the largest Protestant congregation in America and housed it in a magnificent new structure.
Continuing, Powell's father and mother were fair-skinned as Adam, but had always identified as black. Powell Sr. was an advocate of racial pride, who stated that he never desired to be anything other than a Negro. He just continued to ride in the white-only section of the train in the South. Years ago, Washington said that God made the most beautiful flower garden in the world when he made the colored race. He made them from alabaster white to ebony black and all colors in between. Yet when Adam appealed to him for help in understanding his race, he was ignored. All his father would say was that he was mixed, which only added to Adam's confusion. At home, Adam said there was never any consciousness of race. Hey, Dad, I have some questions about my race. Son, you're mixed, all right? What's all this race talk? You're mixed. While Powell Sr. publicly promoted racial acceptance of the privately he gave a wide berth to any mention of race. He feared that it might adversely influence his son and cause him to experience feelings of inferiority and worthlessness. According to psychologists, however, this was a poor strategy. Psychologist Kurt Lewin asserted that avoiding racial problems rather than producing a self-confident child most often results in its opposite. If a child grows up in an unreal world believing that there is no prejudice, their security will be shattered when they encounter it. The group a child belongs to must be valued because it provides a foundation of stability. Kenneth B. Clark demonstrated that black children as young as 3 who are not taught racial pride will often reject their color and show a preference for white skin. Adam's upbringing, therefore, could have contributed to his early confusion about race. Powell Sr. may have avoided discussing racial issues because he was beset by his own ambivalence. Despite the difference in his appearance from most Harlemites, with his white skin, blue eyes, and light brown hair, he occupied prestigious positions as a leading black representative of his community. He sat on the board of the
Snoring like a bear.
and the Urban League, and was appointed to commissions on Harlem by Mayor Diallo LaGuardia. Members of Abyssinian looked on his fair skin favorably at times, and would compare him in appearance to Jesus Christ. Kenneth B. Clark, who grew up in Harlem, recalls, when as a child I first saw him, I thought he was God. So we can see that the white skin is actually working in his favor. When these niggas in Harlem see him, they think he's Jesus. They think he's God. Who is this white man? Yet, despite his social acceptance from the black community, there were limits to Powell Sr.'s racial pride. In fact, he was known not to reveal his racial origins when it was convenient, although he claimed never at any time wanting to be a white man and of never trying to pass for anything but who I am. He willingly rode in white-owned Pullman cars when traveling in the South. Bright and quick-witted, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. was an excellent student until adolescence, when he discovered girls and began spending an inordinate amount of time socializing. As a result, he was forced to spend an additional semester in high school in order to graduate. Even so, he graduated at the age of 16 and with considerable political pressure enrolled at the City College of New York. By the end of the first semester, however, perusing caused him to fail 3 subjects. Only his father's personal acquaintance with the college president kept him from being expelled. So he's already using a little bit of his white privilege. In the following semester, he failed 5 of 6 subjects and was expelled. Adam's academic failure resulted from his rebellion again. New FanDuel, you need $200 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet. Yes! Bam. But y'all done let me in, or y'all done left me in? Doing anything for money is prostitution. Absolutely. We can't keep letting them crucify the messiahs without the army, because legend is the most overused term in hip-hop. They're actually a legend as important as they are. How did you feel? The real one is just there. Sometimes these legends need help. Sometimes these legends need prayer. That means that they have greatly impacted New Orleans in a very positive way, good communities and things. Absolutely. He obviously inspired Kendrick. But even if he did shout me out and give me my flowers, like I was saying, just know that even flowers die. Party gotta die, but what's the part? I really feel like I hurt my mom, and I'm going back and forth in my head about when that hurt necessary. The most powerful man in hip hop, you know who you are.
Man, I gotta come up with me some mumbo jumbo. These motherfuckers just regurgitating the same bullshit over and over. Conscious community. Any motherfucker ever seen I'm gonna get you sucker? But they went to old boy office. He had a white family back then. Black power shit ain't nothing.
He's here for another high-level conversation.
Yeah, right.
Peace, family. Jesus was a radical.
There we go.
The tables.
Flip
He
table.
would go upon a militant mission
That's a basic
where he had
description.
a message that he wanted to
Flip
get across to
table.
the masses.
Militant
He
mission.
didn't like
Come
the
on.
way that the world was going, and so he wanted to change the
Jesus
world.
wasn't no damn militant.
He would speak the child of truth that would get him censored today. He would go at people that was popular. He would speak against the government and the corrupt systems, and that would make him an
Shit, a
enemy of the
militant
people.
is motherfucker with a
There were
machine
those that
gun
followed him,
and
those
used
that
it.
loved him. But then, of course, he had all those that challenged him, and he had those that hated him. The famous story about flipping the tables is the fact that he went in there when they had the gambling den and things of that nature, and he seen all this unrighteousness. And he didn't just go in there and speak words at them. Y'all need to stop. No, he went in there and flipped the table. That should let you know the type of character that the man had. I bring up this story because I believe that there are many people who also have that same sort of consciousness and a spirit to create, make, and manifest change, right? Representing truth. That same Christ consciousness, that messianic force that exists when you want to be a force of good, a speaker of truth that produces change, I think exists in our next guest. It has been a force that is fighting because of this decay of culture. He's tired like the rest of us, that all we do is party and BS. We're not focused on our ascension and our elevation to take ourselves to the highest level. He's a Harvard professor. He's an artist. He's created programs for his city. He's done so much good, and he has accolades to get #1 charting songs, being on billboards, things of that nature. But he has not sacrificed his integrity. He is still out there flipping tables. Sometimes this makes enemies.
Knock it off.
Some people don't like him. They threaten his life, but they're going to cause harm and danger to him. And all he's doing is speaking the truth. Nobody calls him a liar. I have somebody who has integrity. I'm speaking about none other than our brother, D1. Cultural decay. As we look at like America is going through the end of an empire, the culture is also going through the same decay, right? And the reason it is because it's so attached to it, right? You can't think that these systems are going to fall, and then that this attached industry, right, that is also part of the exact same system and mechanism, doesn't fall at the same time, right? And I remember I seen you post something about I think it's one of the city girls that's talking about how their album sales weren't doing good, and the label is not green lighting, right? They next projects, and rightfully so, in a sense, I believe, as you were explaining, because this is what happens, right? And I remember I seen you post something about, I think it was one of the City Girls that's talking about how their album sales weren't doing good, and the label is not green lighting, right? They next projects, and rightfully so, in a sense, I believe, as you were explaining, because this is what happens when the shift starts to come in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that the Jezebel spirit, right, is something that's been understood as an idea of weaponizing the image of the black woman to be seen as somebody that can be sexually exploitive, that, oh, she wants it, she's, you know, over sexualized, she's the one that's always coming after you. And that was done so they never have to put her in the light of value or give her justice when something happens to her. And we understood that as something that we needed to fight against because of that propaganda machine that was pushing that on us. And then we fast forward now, and that same thing has become a tool of capitalism, self exploitation, right? Self pimping. You feel me? And we've become the very monsters that we were trying to fight.
Yes.
Right? So, how did we get to this point?
Money and acceptance.
Mm.
Man, lack of money has produced a hunger from within to where it's like, by any means necessary, I got to get the bag. The bag should really mean building a generation. You know what I mean? That's the bag I'm after. Once I made up my mind that that's the bag that matters most, is building a generation. Secondarily comes this green piece of paper that we call money, you know, that we call the bag. But that lack of money has produced a hunger to where cats is like, hey, I'm gonna justify anything I have to do, as long as I get to that end, and that end goal is to not have to live in that poverty anymore, right? So thankfully, I've traveled, and by me traveling this world, going to the motherland, going to Ghana when I was 14 years old, I realized that there were students my age who had a sense of purpose and a sense of joy that radiated from them, that
I
wasn't
don't get
attached
no
to whether or
sleep.
not they had name brands on, or whether or not they were even financially in a space that they would be considered middle class or wealthy. It was just because they had life, and they realized that that was the most precious resource that they've been blessed with. And any day that they wake up, they allow that to affect their perception of how they went about living, right, on a daily basis. It's like, wait, I'm here. Since I'm here, I'm gonna make sure that I radiate with this joy that money can't buy. When I came back home to the hoods of New Orleans, I realized we didn't have that. So much of our mindset was predicated upon what name brand is attached to my shirt, what name brand is attached to my shoes, right? So the lack of having a bag produced a vicious like hunger to want to be included, right? And that's the problem, is when you're looking at someone else as having a table or a level of status that you're like, I want that, and you're not realizing what's already inside of you, what you already possess that makes you special. You'll get to the point where you say, in order to be included in that party or at that table, I'm willing to do whatever is necessary. Metaphorically, that's what our people did, that's what our culture did. You know what I mean? So the lack of the bag and wanting to be included in what we saw as the definition of living a purposeful life or living a complete life is what made our people jump from our posts. Now realizing that we are who everybody wants to be. And because we are who everybody wants to be, if
Well,
they figured out
I've
ways
been
to
realized
manipulate
that,
us and
buddy.
say, oh, although you are who we want to be, we can have you pursuing us. You know, you can adapt to our customs. You can adapt to our ways of living and our ways of being and treating others. Man, my grandpa told me so many stories about the habits that were brought back into this country once our people came back from fighting in the war, right? Once our people came back, this is 1930s, 1940s. He was like, a lot of what we saw going on in the black community didn't even start. And he's speaking for the black community in New Orleans in terms of how husbands treated their wives or mistreated their wives, in terms of just uh, toxic communication habits, in terms of domestic abuse. You know what I mean? He was like, these were behaviors that were learned elsewhere, right? That were unfortunately brought back here. And because our people were feeling like, well, if they doing it, it must must be right because they have more financial security than us, and that's a false interpretation of just because someone has something that you don't have doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong in the first place. You know, we never started out in this country with an even playing field. We never started out if this was a track race on the blocks to where it's like, all right, on your mark, get set, go. It's like we started out, we back here, and everybody else started out up here. And when you realize that, you realize, okay, just because we didn't have the same starting point doesn't mean that we have to adapt and adopt whatever every other culture does and says and the way that they think in order for us to say, now we feel equal to them. You'll never feel equal if it's not coming from something within yourself, right? You'll never feel equal to somebody else if you're not realizing that we were all created equal in the first place. And the fact that we were all created equal, that doesn't mean that we started out equal, but that's because of how this world is set up. And intentionally, it's like, oh, we're gonna feel like we had a disadvantage if we allow them to be at the same level as us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also habits will destroy that equality quick. Yeah, I was talking about this with Billy Carson that when we think about equality, and this I think we have an idealistic and a moral fantasy about equality versus a realistic, logical one. Because even when you think about the sense that we don't all live, right, the same length of life. One person can grow up in a household where they had parents who showed them bad habits, or they were inside of the womb. The mother was eating the wrong way, and that helped develop habits to where the child already have a taste for the wrong things, right? And so, or that parent has bad genetics because their parents ate the wrong things. So therefore, when we think about equality, you know, I think it's equal in opportunity that we all have a mind, right? But we don't have the same way that we use it, right? Because one person that comes from a class that is more wealthier or educated, they're gonna automatically live a longer life for the most part, statistically, right? And so there's not even equality there. I think it's more so about like when we think about life, it's about the quality of life you live, right, versus the quantity of days that you live, because that's where you can be equal. Because there are men who live a very long life, they won't be remembered. They probably weren't that impactful. Sometimes you live a long life because you know you were very peaceful in the sense that you didn't try to disrupt anything, right? Right? Being a revolutionary shortens your lifespan. Right? All the revolutionaries that we love the most, they died early. A lot of them did. Right? There's some that get to grow into old age, but that's very few. But being radical in America is a very dangerous lifestyle, right? But I wouldn't equate their life impact to somebody who lived a long life that didn't have much impact while they were living, because they went along to just get along, right? So those two people are not equal. And so I think it's more so about like, what is the life you want to live? And I think that we need to really get that because we're stuck, as you talked about, but we're stuck in this comparison reality, right? We look at it the way they want to live, and we say, that's how I want to live, right? But you don't even know if that's really aligned with you, right? We all have different psychological differences. There are things that you know as right or wrong. And right or wrong is a very interesting thing because once you say something is right and you believe it, right, then everything that you do is going to be spiritually okay. When you say something is wrong and you believe it, anytime you do something that's wrong, right, it's going to feel spiritually negative to you. So therefore, you're creating your heaven and your hell based on your moral beliefs, right? So what happens when we start living in hell is when we start doing things that's against, right, ourselves. I know that's wrong and I still did it, right? But when we look at the top 1% capitalists in this country and CEOs, they're psychopaths, right? So they can operate in chaotic environments, right? But you may want to be like them. When you go try to operate in a chaotic environment, and you gonna be caught up in the chaos. See, they don't have the emotions, so they don't even feel the weight of their decisions. So you're copying the devil, right? But you got the soul of a God. So therefore, you're going to be punished for doing the same thing that they're doing, and they might not feel that punishment because morally, the way that they're construct is set up is to be already denatured. It's already to devalue the world. So this is why we become little devils, because we copy the devil's blueprint. That was never constructed for our makeup. It's not made for our nature, right? And I want to get into this conversation where I see so much division. When I look at you, I just see my brother. I was always taught a good Christian the same as a good Muslim, a good Muslim the same as a good Christian, right? Treat people how you want them to be treated, right? And so, especially when I see a brother in arms, because it's the battlefield. You feel me? So you're not gonna stop and you in the army. Y'all fighting against an enemy and ask them what their religion is to see if you got their back. Like, no, you with your brother, we're the same because we fighting the same war. And if we fight the same war, then we are all going for the same will, right? A Muslim is one who submits his or her will to do the will of God. So I'm a very definitive type person at the same time, where it's like, by definition, if you fit the traits, right, then you my brother. You can, a brother in Christ, that's my brother. You feel me? Because that Christ consciousness,
submitting to my human will to do Christ.
Yep. It's the same thing, and especially us as melanated men here in America. The most American thing is to be an innovative, revolutionary black man. Right? I think that's so steeped into the culture of what America is at its fabric. Because that's what we do. We push the envelope until we get to a better world. We haven't got there yet, so we keep seeding new generations of Messiah, new generations of that Christ consciousness, to keep delivering the word of God, to keep delivering until we create a world of God, right? And I see that in you, and the way you go about speaking, the way you go about fighting, right? You operating with that Yahshua spirit. You feel me? You operate with that Christ consciousness. You don't care because it's not that you don't care, it's because you do care, but you're not afraid of the opposition because you fear God more than you fear the opposition to God.
Yes, sir.
And so, as you see on Twitter, I'm sure you see, there's always this back and forth rift between Christians, Muslims, Islamists, and all of these different things. Me personally, I don't get caught up in it, but I just noticed that there's so much identity politics and divisiveness to where people don't even really know what they're fighting for. Right? They feel like they know what they're against, and it's really them being emotional. And that's all I see today. I don't see people being intellectual.
Correct.
I don't really see people being good apostles for God whatsoever.
Correct.
Right? Or messengers
Correct.
for God at all. I just see a bunch of emotional people talking about what they believe, but none of them really know what they know.
Correct.
Because if they want to get offended if you ask them to defend it, because they're doing it from an emotional place of what they feel. They don't even have the knowledge, right? And so that's going to make them feel frustrated when you call them out. You're like, well, why did you do that? Can you defend it? Now, a man that really truly knows himself and why he's going to be like, yes, I do it for this, this. That's who I am. And I can stand on that every day of the week. But if a man is just operating within the world, he doesn't really know. So now he's frustrated and mad that you calling him out. Even though you're right.
Yeah. And he knows you're right.
He knows you're right. Ain't nobody can tell me, because we living in a culture where everybody working for the devil. And now when I say working for the devil, I mean it by definition, because the devil is somebody who presents illusions. He is somebody who deceives, right? He is somebody who manipulates you. He is somebody that keeps you off your focus, right? So what is gambling? What is entertainment, right? All of these different things is keeping you off your focus, keeping you off your nature, right? And if you do not care the effect of your influence,
There you go.
then you a little demon.
There you go.
You feel me?
There you go.
So how you mad at somebody for calling you out?
Calling it out. It's my job. If I'm not calling you out, I'm not doing my job.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that.
Yeah.
That's how much I fear God. That's how much I'm here to serve God. Is that if I see what's going on in this world and what is being more and more normalized and more incentivized, if it's all the characteristic traits and the characteristics and the behaviors and the traits that the devil is pleased with and that are synonymous with the devil, I have to call that out. Not only do I have to call that out, but I also have to be an example of what's different. I have to present an alternative to that. So that's why I'm more than just an use being a college professor to communicate because the devil is not going to take a day off, right?
No, he worked overtime.
Exactly. So with that being said, I got to do the same. But also, the devil shows no fear and no reverence for God. So why should God's people show any fear, any retribution, any hesitance when it comes to doing His work as well? It's like, man, we got to stand on what we believe in. And if you got two people that are like, cool, I'm fully standing on what I believe in, and if we look at each other right in the face, right, fully standing on what we believe in, the truth is going to win every time.
Yes,
And I want my life to be a testimony to the truth winning every time. So whenever things are happening publicly, and people might see that D1 is receiving opposition from the opposing side or from an opposing character or an opposing viewpoint or something, I will never back down as long as I know I'm not here representing myself. I'm here in service to God. And that's something that people get intimidated by. So that's when they try to use the divisiveness of he trying to push Christianity on them. No, righteousness has no name. Righteousness has righteousness has no sense of saying.
They only say that when you're successful at what you do.
Yeah, that's it. And then they'll try to divide the brothers and sisters who are all able to unify in the name of love and in the name of righteousness. So where it's like we don't even see any sense of division,
Right.
because at the core, these principles are all the same.
Yeah, true righteous people all have the same agenda.
There you go. So when I see the attempted division, I'm like, oh, word, y'all want to try to cast me off as being a brother. This word of being a clout chaser, that is a psychological trick that demons and enemies of righteousness will try to use to trick you out of being bold in what it is that you represent. Meanwhile, they want to normalize what it is that they represent and push and perpetuate on a daily basis. And if you attempt to go against it, they don't want you to mess with their monopoly. So they're like, oh, you're a clout chaser because you're opposing the norm. That's the state and times that we live in. Is the norm has become something that should have never been the norm in the first place, right?
But I would want my brother D1 to be more popular, 100% more resourced, more funded than 99% of the rappers that I see today. And that's because you may do something with your money good. You may have a turkey giveaway. Right? You may do something for the youth every once in a while. But that's only because you're trying to erase your sins. And you're trying to justify, right, being a devil and saying, well, sometimes I do angelic work. But you're still a devil. And by a devil, that doesn't mean you have to stay a devil. But it means that your lifestyle is funded by the devil. Right? Why do you think they love you so much? Because you can be easily controlled and manipulated, and you don't have a consciousness when it comes to the effect that you have on the people. Because you're going to justify it by right? And so that's the lowest level. That's prostitution. Right? Mr. Clark kind of talked about that. Right? That spirit of doing anything for money is prostitution.
Absolutely.
So you'll be willing to sell yourself, your body, your people out, all in the name of your bag.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, yeah, prostitute gets their bag at the end of the day. Right? But the way you get it matters. And what you do and why you do it all matters. The why, that's where you find God at. Why you doing it? So that's where you find the intent and the purpose of what you're doing. And are you conscious of the effect that it's having? I think the most dangerous thing right now is how on the heels of having like this financial literacy movement, all of a sudden you got all this gambling being pushed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I would never, and I understand because there's so many people, the only way they get funded right now is the people come in, they give you a big old bag, right? And they say, listen, we're from the show, we're from the production, all these different things. But their company directly deals with gambling. Right? Now, those who history buffs understood that there has been wars waged on the fact that they don't like that, how that destroys a generation. Right? There's people who have built into their rules that they can't, charge each other interest. They can't set up gambling houses within their culture. The Jewish people are so smart, they say that we're the people of God. We can't do it to each other, but we can do it to people who are not people of God. Right? We don't even see ourselves as people of God. If we did, we wouldn't do certain things to each other. Right? But you'd be like, I can't do that to God's people. That's crazy. I can't just sell them liquor and gambling and entertainment and keep them off their focus every day
I usually use my platform to keep us from making progress, right? So your success is our failure. So in that, then if you want to change the culture, then you guys be like, all right, well, some of you niggas gotta come back because y'all in my way of making progress. I'm trying to teach them investing. I'm trying to teach them better entrepreneurship. I'm trying to teach them skills and development and how to become lean and things of that nature. And everything you represent is the opposite of that. So you telling me at some point in time we're not gonna become enemies? Come on, don't get me wrong. I will true brother is brother. We can work out. Here's the thing. As a warrior, knowledge prevents wars. Knowledge prevents wars because when you're knowledgeable and you're educated, then you should be able to come up to a solve and create a solution, solve the problem before it gets to that point of conflict, right? So at the height of manhood, intellectuals, right? We should be able to talk this out. I should be able to think of a strategy other than me having a little war with you because that should be my last resort. When I have completely exhausted my mental resources and my intelligence in figuring this out. Very intelligent people don't fight, right? Because they already figure out a solution to get their way. What we dealing with is small-headed people sometimes. Where it's like, all right, I'm exhausted. And before I go to sleep, I'm going to use this last bit of energy to get at y'all. You feel me? Because sometimes that may be the intelligence that you need the attention so that the message can flow with the attention, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. So that if you say that I shouldn't be taking the energy and attention away from this giving consistent birth, no, because you got these people stressed and they're going to produce more stress. You got them doing drugs, that's going to produce more death. Black men in America are at their worst right now. And I mean that in a physical. Our bioproductivity is low, right? Our